used to laugh, we used to cry, we used to bow our heads then, wonder why. Now you're gone, I guess I'll carry on, make the best of what you've left to me. Left to me, left to me. I need you, like the flower needs the rain. You know I need you. Guess I'll start it all again. You know I need you, like the winter needs the spring. You know I need you. I need you. Every day I'd laugh the hours away, just knowing you were thinking of me. Then it came that I was put to blame for every story told about me, about me, about me. I need you, like the flower needs the rain. You know I need you. Guess I'll start it all again. You know I need you. I need you, I need you, like the winter needs the spring. You know I need you. Guess I'll start it all again. You know I need you. I need you, I need you, like the flower needs the rain. You know I need you. Guess I'll start it all again. You know I need you. I need you. I need you, like the winter needs the spring. You know I need you. Guess I'll start it all again.
Welcome to everybody to the beautiful surrounds of this Arboretum. What a wonderful place, and what a wonderful turnout to say farewell to a wonderful lady. The newspaper notice read, Westbrook Judy quietly passed away in the presence of her three daughters, Ruth, Julia and Evelyn, after a short illness. She was the cherished daughter of Jim, deceased, and May Patterson, respected and adored by confidant and love friend Mark, and her three siblings, Andrew, Bill and Rosalind. She is now reunited with Mike and Libby again. And the footnote reads, the world will be a quieter place without your presence, and you will be forever missed. I'm sure that Judy would not have wanted a big fuss made at her farewell, and I think she perhaps would have said, now don't go on too long, make things short and sweet, but tell my family and friends to move on and to make the most of their time. Judy certainly wouldn't want you to be sad, but she would be so thankful that you good people here today meant so much to her. You will all have and hold dear many special memories of this special girl, a unique lady, and those memories will stay with you, and you will always treasure her lasting legacy. Nothing can now detract from all that you have shared with Judy. Nothing can affect the great happiness that she herself knew. The past, with all its meaning, is sacred. It is also secure. And your love for Judy and her love for you, her family and friends, can never be altered by time or by circumstance. So sweet is the sunshine that follows the rain, and so is the peace that follows the pain. Softly the leaves of memory fall. Gently we gather and treasure them all. Today, tomorrow, our whole lives through. Our dear friend Judy, we will not forget you. I'd like to welcome the people who are watching in today on live stream, and I believe there are many people from the North Island who can't be with us today for various reasons, and even though these good people may not be with you here in person, we know that they are with you in spirit and they share your sorrow today. A little bit later on, I will be opening the service for anyone who would care to share a story with us, and I would say that there are many stories to be shared. The sharing of stories will continue, no doubt, as everybody is invited up the road a little bit further to the establishment known as Prickly Mow, and you would need no directions as to where to find that establishment to share further memories and stories. I sat with the family the other day and I learned some information that I'm about to pass on to you, and I have a nice tribute to read on behalf of a good friend of mine, namely Mark. I learnt that Rachel Judith Westbrook was born on the 23rd of June 1962. She was the youngest child of Jim and May Patterson, sister to Libby, Bill, Andrew and Rosalind. She was one of the last babies to be born on King Island. From a very strong farming background with sheep and cattle, she was an accomplished horsewoman, and she was Australia's top woman wave sailor. Yeah, that's when they get on the big waves with a big sail, and they try and steer that contraption safely without falling off. She was in the Tasmanian netball squad. She was a lover of native fauna and flora, a keen field naturalist, along with her family. She was an avid gardener. She was a homebody with a wild side. And it sounds like some of you agree. But the wildest side was only seen by those very close to her and whom she loved and trusted. She was outspoken. She tended to call a spade a bloody shovel, and she did not suffer fools lightly. But she was also generous to a fault. A wonderful cook, a great cook, a baker. She loved cooking for her family and friends who enjoyed her many dinners and parties at her home in the Bakers Beach area. She liked the odd Shiraz or two, and maybe finished with a sore head next morning. She was a cool mum, approachable and sensitive to her children's feelings. She taught her children a lot about their surroundings. She did a lot of beachcombing, swimming and bushwalking. She was at one with nature. She had a love of literature and was a real bookworm. She loved the cryptic crosswords. You know, the ordinary ones are hard enough, let alone the cryptics, but they weren't hard for Judy. She was a good card player and general knowledge quizzes. She loved the trivia side of things. She had 3 children of her own, Ruth, Julia and Evelyn, but was a second mother to many of their friends also. So that's just one little piece of information that I'm pleased to share with you. And I was given this as I walked in. I assured Mark that I could read his writing. And he says, "G'day everyone, and thanks for coming. Our girls and I appreciate it, and I know that Judy would too. As many of you would know, Judy enjoyed a good laugh and a bit of intrigue. So with that in mind, I'd like to share with you all how we met and became friends initially. We met in 1989 when we were both 27, and we were both started working for Clements and Marshall, the company there at their brand new Parramatta Creek food processing factory. Jude as a laboratory technician and me as a forklift operator. One morning, I haven't read this far yet, but I've got it now, Mark. One morning I was with another bloke called Dudley Corbett. Now, he's my son, the same name, but he worked with Mark. And this Dudley's wayward son, and we both noticed as an old VW Beetle crawl into the car park, then this tall, attractive, well-dressed and leggy young woman stepped out, walking into the main office in front of us. I said words to the effect of, "Dudley, would you nearly leave home for that?" I'll speak to the boy later. He agreed that he would, and we chuckled, as you do. Well, weeks went by, and over time, Judy, myself, and Dudley Jr. became very good friends, along with a couple of others. Sitting together in the large lunchroom, we all got to know each other, and we had a lot of laughs. At this time, C&M, is it? Had a lot of internal problems, and a major one being Clements and Marshall. Sorry, just the initials. Had a lot of internal problems, and a major one being the admin staff at this new factory were absolutely hopeless. Do we have anyone here today from Clements and Marshall? Yeah, okay, no, it's okay. Which a lot of us of course, we thought was hilarious to watch the comments to and fro. On the wall in the lunchroom, which seated about 50 people, was a very large whiteboard. And one morning we all came in to find some bright spark had drawn some animated figures depicting the managerial staff and one of their bigger operational failures, along with a scathing but hilarious short commentary outlining the disaster. It was signed at the bottom, "The Phantom," with a funny little squiggle at the bottom of it. Of course, we all laughed and thought it was hugely funny, Judy in particular. The management, however, didn't find it funny at all. And through the door, it disappeared from the board, which to us just made it even funnier. Still, when the phantom person persisted every week, we'd come to work and there would be another drawing and another little story to go with it. And none of us had a clue who it was. Dud suggested it was a woman because he said her handwriting looked girly. Yeah. And we all agreed. So this went on for months, and it just got funnier all the time to the general staff, and they and us, we still had no idea who it was. Some of these comments were pretty risque, and it got to the point where the Deputy General Manager called a staff meeting to announce that he was asking the local police to come and do a handwriting analysis to finally uncover who the culprit was, which resulted in a few of us having to exit the room because we were beginning to fall apart, which didn't go down too well at all. Of course, that didn't stop the Phantom one bit, and just offered more to work with. Long story short, one day a few of us started work particularly early. I remember it was raining so hard that in the corrugated iron shed that was the factory, it was hard to hear yourself think even. Jude had started early that morning, and as she walked into the lunchroom, it was her who found the Phantom in mid-sketch and discovered to her great surprise that it was Mark. Hands up if you guessed that it was Mark. I think Mark says, I think I got the biggest surprise. We laughed together and she promised not to tell a soul, which she never did, and so began a friendship that is still very much alive today and indirectly has led us all to being here in a funny kind of way. Although Jude and I obviously had our ups and downs, there were actually more ups than downs. And our original friendship endured and produced our 3 lovely babies that we are both very proud of. And with that, I'll hand this all back to you, Dudley. It's been a great honour and a great pleasure to be able to read that on your behalf. And I think that would have taken quite a while and a lot of emotion to pen. And would you give a reverent round of applause to the man for that? Yeah. Yeah, no, a great story. And I believe that there would be many other stories that we probably might not be able to share at the moment. Well, just a few little dot points that I made while I was sitting with the family the other day. Jude loved the television series, The Outlander. She loved the mysteries, True Blood, Game of Thrones, the trivia quizzes, the old-style British comedies. She loved the news, especially ABC News, and she had a liking for the Hawthorn Football Club. Well, her food, she had a taste bud for the Mid-Eastern fare with a little bit of spice in it. She loved a lamb roast. She loved fine dining. And, of course, to top it off fine dining, she was no stranger to champers, to crayfish and to oysters. Yes, she loved her food all right by the sound of it. Oh dear, yeah. The stories will flow a little bit later on when we all join each other back at Prickly Mow. And as I said earlier, you will all have many stories to share and stored away that will stay with you for the rest of your days, and you will speak her name with great honour. I believe that Julia has something to say to us.
Is it okay if you read it?
Oh yes, I'll read it for you. Oh, thank you. You've got better handwriting than Mark.
Oh, thank you.
So this is on behalf of Julia. A eulogy for Mum. I want to first thank everyone for being here today, for our family and for our Mum. I know how much she would have appreciated everybody supporting us and being here in her honour. I thought a lot about how to write this eulogy, having never written anything like it before, and at first I found it very hard. Hard not to dwell on the devastation of losing her and the gaping hole that she leaves in our hearts. But after much consideration and reflection on her life, I was able to appreciate how the memory of her outweighs any heartbreak that I feel. The love that she had for us was bigger than the pain of losing her, and that grief is just love with nowhere to go. Instead, we want to focus on celebrating her life. You all knew her, so you know how eccentric, how quirky, and how funny she was. Her sense of humour was unconventional, to say the least. Dry, in a word, but also silly, and usually getting her into more trouble than she'd bargained. But always laughing big and unapologetically, nonetheless, she was never stingy with her laughter, like she knew every moment was a gift to herself and to us. My sisters and I never doubted the love my mother had for us. She worked for everything she never had, and more. When my sisters and I were still toddlers, she put herself through university while still working full-time and balancing life as a new mother to twins, so that she could focus on a career and give us the life we were so lucky to live. I'm grateful to have grown up in her home of great love, music, humour and food. She was fair, with a strong moral compass and loyal to her beliefs, letting you know how she really felt about anything she did or didn't agree on. Her honesty was something you could always count on, no matter how frankly she communicated. She may well have had a good command of the English language. You haven't written that down there, but I imagine that she would be very descriptive. Her loyalty to her family was even stronger. She was quick to defend us if she felt we were being treated unfairly by anyone. On more than one occasion, she turned up at school to defend us when we were being reprimanded by the teachers, especially if she felt the reason to be too insignificant, like wearing the wrong coloured shoes. And much to my horror, instead of scheduling a meeting with the principal, she would, of course, show up at the classroom door during class, in front of the other students, so she could speak to the teacher directly. Don't you do that to my daughter. I guess it was more efficient that way. The horror has since worn off and instead filled me with an overwhelming sense of pride for my mother, who above everything else, cared so deeply for us. Our mum believed in every hope and dream that we've ever had. Growing up, she always made sure we had every opportunity to be a part of something we loved, carting us to every sporting event, band practice and art showing. I always remember seeing her face in the back of the crowd, bursting with pride at any achievement that we got, as if only small success was your biggest milestone and the reward was her loving admiration. I could get lost in endless pages detailing her character in personal anecdotes and stories to sum up her identity, but it wouldn't be enough to truly explain who she was and is. And I speak in the present tense because she still continues to be so alive in our minds. Her spirit and presence echo through our daily life as if she'd never left us, now existing in our hearts where we can still talk to her and love her just the same. Thank you, Mum. You are the driving force in my life as I aspire to touch even half the lives that you have. We love you so much. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. Do we have any other family members who would like to say something? Yes, we have. I think that should be about the right size.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks. Hi, I'm Rosalind, Judy's sister, and I want to read a tribute from Margot Fitzgibbon. I'm going to make a complete fool of myself, sorry. I do it all the time, sorry. Judy was my closest friend, and I've known her since early childhood. The many shared learning experiences from a young age, I think, have particularly strong effect and influence on a person, which connect you for the rest of your life. I feel this is the case for myself and Jude, Margot and Judy. When living on King Island, the Pato, Fitzy, Clark and Barrett families formed a close friendship network. Their kids intermingled regularly, and this allowed my sister San and I to form close friendships with Andrew, Rosalind and Judy in particular. Inevitably, members of our families left the island for further education purposes. My three brothers, Gary, Drew and Jeff, left for boarding school. The Patos, Libby, Bill and then Andrew and my sister San went too. And finally, Rosalind left also, leaving Jude and I, being the youngest, as the last kids standing. We spent more and more time together as teenagers. Much of our time was spent riding our horses. We would do stock work for our parents, but also go riding to the beach and explore the countryside and coastline. In late summer, we would race our horses around the dam, where the evaporation had left a great racetrack for us. This is not a sport to recommend to anyone. We also invented new card games, created and performed plays, raced matchbox cars down the corrugated iron roof of our barn, surfed the rough waves at Pato's Beach, perched precariously side by side in a rubber dinghy, also pretty dangerous, and carefully found many ways to have fun and keep entertained. One not very spectacular time, we were left to our own devices as teenagers, both sets of parents having gone off to a dinner party. So, of course, we raided Jim's grog cupboard, having the brilliant idea that we took out a generous amount of Drambuie and refilled the stolen amount with water. Jim would never know. The result, we were left in the metaphorical doghouse for some time. I always felt part of the Pato family, Jim and May welcoming me into their house, and I'm sure Jude felt part of the Fitzy family too. She was loved by my parents, and she continued to visit them regularly until firstly my father Arthur and then later Peg died. Whilst we lived the next phases of our lives in very different parts of the world, we remained close. I visited Judy in her beautiful Baker's Peach house several times with my partner Fee, who also got to know and form a good bond with Judy. Despite the irregularity of our catch-ups, things would, in a funny way, be the same. Close conversations, good laughs, strong bonds evident. My sister San was very happy being in touch with her often in recent years, especially having lively conversations in the last few months. She'd been looking forward to coming over here to our place, Judy, in the UK, and also to Fee's place in France to immerse in all the things we'd been talking about. I know Jude, and like her family, I take great pride in the privilege of having known her. Thank you, Margot. We love you. My small tribute is a poem from Rumi, which is, please keep a green tree in your heart, everyone here, and so that the bird may come and sing, the singing bird may come.
Thank you so much. That was very well received, and Jude would have loved that. And when we arrived today, we heard the blackbirds in full flight down there, the singing birds, and they were singing farewell to Jude also. Do we have any further speakers?
Yeah, done.
It's all yours, sir.
Thanks, everyone, for being here. I've just been looking at what I wrote down, and I can honestly can't really add. So all I've done is Jude had a particular way about her, which you probably all know. And about 5 years ago, I came and lived with Jude for about 10 months. And we, as time went on, I suppose, in our age, we got friendlier and friendlier. And I'd ring Jude up. And this happened right up until, I think our last call together was October, end of October this year. And I'd ring. She'd answer, "Hey, Jude." Her answer would be, "Hello, how are you?" Always that. And I, you know, it was quite, she didn't change right until the end. She was just the still same old Jude. So I just wrote a little thing here. Jude, you're 1 in a million. One thing you're not the bracken fern. All she wanted to do was pull every black bracken fern out by hand, by the root. You're not the kookaburra. Well, we know about kookaburras. Lead poisoning, that's the best thing for them. And you're not the broken tree branch. She spent nearly all of her time picking up dead tree branches. But you are a bonfire. You're the heat radiating out as it flares up into the night. You're the microbats darting over those flames. You're the sugar gliders flitting from tree to tree. You're the midgies, the mozzies, and all those creatures of the night. The mopokes and the tawny frogmouths. The lizards, the skinks and the tiger snakes. And all the creatures of the morning. You're the wombats, the devils and the quolls. The Joyces and the Humphreys. You're the flies and the scouts and the evers and the florries. You're the wattlebird, the bronzewing, the currajong, the black cockatoo. So you see. You're the partelet, the blue wrens, and all the seabirds from Eastern Inlet to Archer's Knob and beyond. Your legacy is imprinted well into the minds of all that pass this way. Thanks, Jude, for all your love and care and time. You'll never, never, ever be forgotten. Most of what I'd written as a eulogy has already been covered. And, Jude grew up on King Island to a very conservative, well-tempered and strong-willed mother with a progressive, opinionated and strong-willed father. So, is it any wonder Jude was the person that she was? My parents were very hard-working and had one goal in mind that they shared to make a family home, contribute to the community and give service to that community. So it was not at all surprising that Jude was influenced by these two dynamic individuals, and probably more so being the youngest member of our family. Jude basically mimicked what my mother did, and that was to make a good home for her family, her children in particular. And after long struggles, she was able to do that and achieve this at Baker's Beach, where she raised her children in nature and a nurturing environment. An environment her girls never really wanted to leave and have returned to at every opportunity. She then attained a position at the National Park, providing service to the community as a park information officer. In her role, she trained as a firefighter, a guide, and a snake wrangler was her last training that she did. I just wrote down here that my brother and I, when we were both, I think I was 7 years older than Jude, Bill was 11. So at that age, 7 and 11, this particular day, we just got home from school and there's a note on the table there. When you have your afternoon tea, I want you to take those cattle down to Sheathers and then come back home. So anyway, we go down there, and on the way down there's a Bill's pony starts snorting and carrying on and throwing its head in the air, and we look out in the paddock and it looks like Mr. Alston has just shot 3 of Mr. Murray's pigs, and that's why Bill's horse was jumping up and down and carrying on. And so we had a little bit of trouble there, and on the way back, Mr. Barrett pulls up and says, "I've just dropped your mother off with your little baby sister." And we both, at the same time, just went, "Baby sister? But we want a brother." And Mr. Barrett just said, "Well, you get what you're given." So we rushed home, and that was the first time we saw Jude, and my goodness, did she have a good set of lungs in her. She grew up into a toddler, and she belted around the house and the yard using all our push bikes and things that we felt were special to us. And she had one little thing that she loved doing, and that was mimicking every word that we spoke, especially words like bugger. Who taught her to speak like that? Was the thing that came back to us. But of course, as Jude got older, the one word that she did use started with F. But we'll always blame our dad for that. He was famous for knocking chunks of skin off his hand as the oversized spanner slipped off a piece of equipment he was trying to fix. So look, we all left home, and Jude ended up being the unpaid farm worker on Mum and Dad's farm. And more recently, and I'm going back to when I was living with Jude 4 years ago, she just said to me, "You know, I really did feel quite abandoned when all you other siblings left home. I was the last one standing." And I first time I'd really thought about that. And but I did say, "Look, well, it came with benefits, you know." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, you had your choice of pony to ride, and choice of all that saddlery. You know, every time we came home, there was no bridles. The saddles, were in poorer order." And she, "Yeah, well, probably, yeah, okay." Good. But Jude, you know, she was a fantastic horse rider and a great stock person. And I really did enjoy working with her on the farm. She was competent at many, many things. Crazy, fun, and she went out in the world and really made it. There's no point dwelling on that. It's been covered by both Julia and Mark. One of the saddest things that I'm thinking about in the last few days, that when we saw our sister Libby off, Jude was running an ice cube around her mouth, and she looked up at me and said, "Well, I'm the youngest, suppose I'm going to be doing this to all of you." and I just said, "Yeah, of course you are." How little we knew back then. This is 2008. Yeah. You know, Jude has left an amazing legacy with Ruth, Evelyn and Julia. And all of those who call Jude friend, you know that she was a real character. As a friend of mine just said recently, wasn't she a hoot? And that was Jude. Thanks everyone. Really appreciate you being here today and showing your support to particularly Ruth, Evelyn and Julia. Jude was not really big into flowers unless they were natives. Just wondering whether you can, support us, I suppose, by donating to the CJD support group network. They're very important to us. It'll be a great legacy if we could find an answer. And this is a problem with this disease. We can't get an answer as to why it took her. But anyway, Jude was my youngest sister, and I'll miss her just terribly. Thank you.
Well done. Thanks very much from a loving brother. And you mentioned the black cockatoos a while ago, and the casket is adorned through the hand of a very talented artist. Julia painted those black cockies, and she's come up with a crackle of black cockatoos. Now the word Eugenana is Aboriginal for wedge-tail eagle, and today it's a fitting place for Judy to say goodbye, and she is now flying high on the wings of that eagle. Yeah. Do we have any other speakers before we move on? Yes, we do. Thank you.
The Pattersons and the Menzies, wow, such a special lifelong friendship, united forever. And that's how we met Judy. A match made in heaven, who would become our lifelong friend, sister and confidant. We cherish fabulous times spent together at Paddo's Beach, celebrating so many King Island Cups and after party at Sol Lee's. Barbies with all the King Islanders. Judy loved her family, Jim, May, Libby, Bill, Andrew and Roz, with all her heart, and King Island will forever remain so special because of Judy and her beautiful family. Judy could ride like the wind, and we would marvel at her skills with her beloved horses, Possum, Darcy, Mac, Cloudy, Smoky, Lofty and Nimbus. She was so patient, kind, and taught us so well. She never laughed when I constantly fell off. Judy then tried to teach Neil and I to windsurf. She would take off effortlessly, and with such beauty and poise, we would be floundering on the shore, unable to even stand up, while Judy would be halfway to Antarctica. Judy was fiercely loyal, loving, kind, the most capable woman we have ever met. Judy could wrangle a snake and gently release it into the bush, then dig out a sewerage pit, then rescue an animal who needed help, then cook a Michelin star meal, and that's in one day. Judy had so many people who loved her, but she made everyone feel they were the special one. But as we all know, she was the special one. Judy adored her beautiful girls, Ruth, Julia and Evelyn. You are your mother's daughters, and you will make her so proud and us so proud. We will all forever love Judy. Judy was one of a kind, unique, humble, and so Judy. Till we meet again, darling girl. Love you eternally.
Some wonderful thoughts from some wonderful friends and wonderful people. Thank you. Do we have any last speaker before we move on to some family photographs? Well, we're about to go back in time now in Judy's life per virtue of some treasured family photographs and listen to some of Judy's favourite music while history unfolds in front of us. Thank you.
You must leave now, take what you need, you think will last. Whatever you wish to keep, you better grab it fast. You understand you're often with his gun, crying like a fire in the sun. Look out, the saints are coming through, and it's all over now, baby blue. when the road gets dark and you can no longer see, just let my love throw a spark and have a little faith in me. When the tears you cry are all you can believe, just give these loving arms a try, baby, and have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me. Faith in me, and have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me. When your secret heart cannot speak so easily, whisper start to have a little faith in me. And when your back's against the wall, just turn around and you will see. I will catch you fall, baby. Just have a little faith in me, and 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 have a little faith in me. I've been loving you for such a long time, girl, expecting nothing in return, just for you to have a little faith in me. You see, time is our friend, 'cause for us there is no end, and all you gotta do is have a little faith in me. I said, I will hold you up, I will hold you up, and you love, give me strength enough, so have a little faith in me. I said, hey, hey, all you gotta do for me, girl, is have a little bit of faith in me. I said, hey.
Jude loved the daffodils, and there's a very special piece of poetry in the service sheet today that I'd like to share with you. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 now I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in a sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Judy will be dancing with the daffodils forever. The family have selected the Irish blessing as a wish that Judy would leave for the rest of you today. And that reads, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the sun shine warmly upon your face, and the rain fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you safely in the palm of his hand. We have now reached the part of our service, our farewell service today for Jude. And before we move on to that, I'd like once again to offer my personal sympathy to Mark and the entire family, and to thank you for the great honour that you've showed me and Westella Funerals in allowing us to help with a small farewell to Jude, a tribute that we're so honoured to be part of. Thank you so much. So we have now reached that part of our service we call the committal, where we commit Judy to the next stage of her journey. These then are the last rites in the natural life of our friend Rachel Judith Westbrook. We have met to pay tribute and to say farewell. So tenderly and reverently we commit Judy for cremation. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that life has meant to us. We now leave Judy in peace, and with the greatest of respect we bid her farewell. Thus, thinking of her, let us leave this place in quietness of spirit and live with concern for one another, resolved that we who live on and those who come after us shall have life and have it more abundantly, as per Judy's wishes. You were a good woman to many people, Judy, gone but not forgotten, gone but never apart, for we are blessed with memories held deeply within our hearts. Thank you for a million wonderful memories, Judy. Farewell, and may you forever rest in peace. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Could I now invite you to stand as we commence to take our final farewell of our dear friend. Thank you so much.
It was an early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn, and I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on. Like a king without a castle, like a queen without a throne, I'm an early morning lover, and I must be moving on. Now I believe in what you say is the undisputed truth, but I have to have things my own way to keep me in my youth. Like a ship without an anchor, like a slave without a chain, just the thought of those sweet ladies as they shiver through my veins. And I will go on shining, shining like brand new. I'll never look behind me, my troubles will be few.
Goodbye, stranger. It's been nice. Hope you find your paradise.
and some they don't, and some you just can't tell. And some they will and some they won't, and some it's just as well.